On this episode of the F1 Chat, we discuss the Spanish Grand Prix, Max Verstappen, Ferrari, the FIA, Lance Stroll, and No Lord British. All that and more on the F1 Chat.
Are you a fan of Indian food?
Yeah, actually, I am. If it's same like in Europe, I like it. No experience yet. This local food here.
Hello there in Internet Land. This is episode 6 of the F1 Chat. I'm your host, Phil Lamington. Seated to my left is a man who he's ready to go back to work after having 3 weeks of holiday. And that's JB. JB, how are you?
Fine, ready.
The 5 lights, and then it's go, go, go?
Yeah, something like that. No. Yeah.
I didn't say it right.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 lights, and it's go, go, go.
You've combined Crofty and... You've combined two legends there.
No. It's 5 lights, and away we go.
It's lights out and away we go.
Let's say it, lights out and away we go.
It's lights out and away we go, go, go.
But before we get into this too, so he doesn't know he's a friend of the channel, but he's a friend of the channel despite the fact he's never met us or anything. But Super GT did a review on F1 2025,
yes,
the video game, and in the video he punts a guy from behind, and he goes, "As you can tell, I had the apex on the corner there." Therefore,
yes.
I had the corner.
My goodness.
Except he wasn't anywhere near. He just punted him from behind.
No, he's done the Verstappen excuse of, I had the corner.
I had the corner.
You're halfway out from the apex, but you had the corner.
I had the corner. That's how the kids do it nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, that was, I thought that was kind of funny. So
It was rather hilarious. The old Max Verstappen technique.
Or he called it the new old switcheroo.
Just because you can see the apex doesn't mean you're on it. I can see the apex way the hell out there.
They can see the apex too as they're sailing away.
If you can fit a double-decker bus between you and the apex, you don't have the
The
corner.
corner.
Max.
Liam.
Lewis. Couple years ago at least, you're okay now.
What, Saudi, Abu Dhabi 2021.
Abu Dhabi 2021, buddy. Silverstone 2021.
Yeah, well.
Where's the apex?
Look, Max Verstappen's in the way. Punta. It's like really idiotic pod racing from Star Wars.
Yeah. What were the odds on Anakin to win that race? Because that blue flying thing got a lot of money. His engineer, who's somehow still better than a Derby is to Hamilton. Even though he could barely speak English either.
I fucking watched that a couple of weeks ago too. Fuck, that pod racing sequence is boring.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's fucking crap.
Hey, the pod racing game was fun.
I hated it.
I thought it was cool.
Because, look, the Star Wars game for me on the...
Because all you do is unlock Saboba's pod and just dominate everyone. That's literally the point of it. Unlock Saboba's pod, use the flamethrower out the side to blow up anyone that gets beside you, win every race.
Well, actually, last night I watched Return of the Jedi. Because I watched the 6 good ones, not the 3 crap ones that came after it. And in one of the shots where they're in Jabba's palace, if you look closely, they've digitally put Sebulba in walking along, but he's got like a smoking jacket on or some shit.
Classy motherfucker.
You're like, how many references to the prequels do you want to stick in this fucking movie?
All of them.
You know, like when they blow the second Death Star up, they've got like the end sequence, and they sit there when they took the song Yub Nub out and put the new ending music on, and then they've got the X-Wings flying by on Endor and all that, and then they put footage of Tatooine, Naboo, and fucking Coruscant on there, and Bespin, and you're like, when this came out, only one of the 4 of those places mattered.
Yeah.
Because they re-released them in 97.
Yeah.
Because I went and saw Episode 4, New Hope, at the movies. And I took my dad. My dad fell asleep.
Don't blame him. There's a lot of talking in those fucking movies.
And I woke him up. I'm like, the movie's over, Dad. And he went, well, I didn't miss anything. I've already seen the movie. I saw it 20 years ago when it came out. I'm like, yeah, but it's a special edition. It's got new shit in it.
More talking.
Has it still got lightsabers in it? Yeah. I've seen it.
There you go.
Okay, all right, thanks. Do you want to go and see the other 2? Not really.
No.
And it was only 15, so I'm just like, oh, fuck. Well, it looks like I'm not going then. Fuck. I have to wait until they come in on VHS. Right.
Anyway, this is a Formula One podcast, if you didn't know.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking great.
Episode 6, is it?
Yes, episode 6 of the 2025 season. I've done the intro already.
I don't think you said that part.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You might have.
Yeah, I
You
did.
know why? Because you sacked Lord British.
Yeah.
You sacked Lord British after one episode,
Yeah.
and now we're back.
Yeah, I
Now
know.
I've got to pay you again for intro royalties.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, fuck him. Lord British. Shove a shampoo bottle up his ass.
Oh, God.
If you want to get that reference, go listen to the song At a Medium Pace by Adam Sandler. P.S. Don't listen to it around kids.
Don't listen to it with the kids.
Right, so I just finished watching the Spanish F1. You watched it last night.
I did.
I fell asleep before the race even started and woke up at the podium. So,
You've done a Your Dad at the Star Wars.
yes.
There was no lightsabers, though.
No. But, wow, what a massive improvement this race was on the last few.
Well, the last 10 laps, definitely.
Oh, but I mean, all the way through this race, there was action aplenty.
No, it was a fairly interesting race, actually.
You know, and plenty of overtaking too, which is not something that readily occurs on this track.
No, it was definitely a bit more frequent than usual.
Yeah, must have been the new front wings.
I've no idea, but there was a lot of passing.
Yeah,
There was a lot of passing, so
yeah.
I do have a race report.
Well, let's click on over to the race report
All right.
with you.
The 2025 Aramco Spanish Grand Prix from Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Is this the last one? When are they doing that Madrid street circuit?
I think it is next year.
So this might be the last one for a while. Till they realise the Madrid street circuit sucks and then give it a 30-year extension.
Yeah.
Like they did to Miami.
Start rotating it with this track again.
Yeah, bloody hell. Lap 1, Oscar Piastri starts on pole position alongside McLaren teammate Lando Norris. Oscar gets the whole shot as Max Verstappen sweeps around the outside of Lando for second place through turn 1. Charles Leclerc gets down the inside of George Russell for 5th as the Ferraris run line astern. Lap 2, Nico Hulkenberg and Fernando Alonso scrap for 10th. Hulkenberg up 5 places off the start on the opening lap alone. Lap 7, Alex Albon is in early for a pit stop with a front wing replacement after contact with Hulkenberg on lap 1. Lap 9, Yuki Tsunoda pits early for fresh soft tyres. Lap 10, Lewis Hamilton lets Charles Leclerc pass for 4th. Pardon moi. Lap 10, Nico Hulkenberg and Carlos Sainz pit. Carlos taking a long time in the pit lane. Lap 13, Lando Norris uses DRS to pass Max Verstappen into second place. Lap 14, Max Verstappen pits for fresh soft tyres as Fernando Alonso runs off the track and through the gravel trap. Lap 17, Lewis Hamilton pits for medium tyres to try and protect from the undercut, as was Ferrari's strategy. Lap 22, Lando Norris pits for medium tyres. Kimi Antonelli does the same. Lap 23, Oscar Piastri pits for mediums, rejoining the race just behind Max Verstappen. Lap 24, Kimi Antonelli passes Pierre Gasly for 6th. Isaac Hadjar passes Nico Hulkenberg for 9th. Lap 25, Liam Lawson and Alex Albon touch. One lap after Alex Albon took the place off the track, Albon's front wing end plate exploding. Lap 27, Alex Albon is handed a 10-second time penalty for gaining an advantage off the track on top of the front wing damage. Lap 28, Williams cut their losses, retiring Albon's car to preserve components in a lost cause of a Grand Prix for him. Lap 30, Max Verstappen pits for medium tyres, just getting out ahead of Hamilton in 4th place. Lap 32, Liam Lawson tries an ambitious dive on Oliver Behrman. Light contact is made in a situation that could have been much worse. Lap 33, Max Verstappen complains about upshifting in the Red Bull. Lap 36, Max Verstappen passes Charles Leclerc for 3rd place with the aid of DRS. Lap 44, Fernando Alonso passes Carlos Sainz for 16th place. Their home Grand Prix not going well to this point. Lap 47, Lewis Hamilton pits, for a used set of soft tyres. The front right wheel nut needing 3 attempts to get on in a slow pit stop for Ferrari. Lap 48, Max Verstappen pits for a 3rd time, a set of soft tyres waiting for him. Lap 39, Lando Norris pits for a 2nd time for a set of used soft tyres. Lando getting out into clean air just ahead of Max. Lap 50, Oscar Piastri pits for the final time, a set of used softs waiting for him as well. And he cruises back out into the lead of the Grand Prix comfortably. Lap 52, Liam Lawson and Oliver Behrman have a battle right in front of Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. Behrman pushed off the track as Max nearly hits Behrman, triggering an angry response from both of them. Lap 53, Fernando Alonso takes advantage of the scrap, passing Oliver Behrman for 12th. Lap 55, Kimi Antonelli's Mercedes rolls off the track and into the gravel trap with smoke pouring out of it, the power unit failing as the safety car is deployed. Oscar dives into the pits along with Lando and Max, use sets of soft tyres for the McLarens, while Max Verstappen gets a brand new set of hard tyres. Lap 60, Max Verstappen gets a massive snap of oversteer off the restart. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen rubbing panels down the front straight, and then Max is pushed wide into turn 1 by George Russell as well. Lap 64, Max is asked to let George Russell back through after holding position off the track. Max holds the steering wheel open to hit George before letting him through a few corners later. Lap 65, Nico Hulkenberg passes Lewis Hamilton for 6th. And lap 66, Oscar Piastri wins the Spanish Grand Prix ahead of McLaren teammate Lando Norris and Ferrari Charles Leclerc. Post-race, Max Verstappen is handed a 10-second time penalty for his deliberate collision with George Russell, and he is demoted from 4th to 10th.
In 4th place is George Russell in the Mercedes.
Wow, we're slinging dark jokes in the background here.
5th place is Nico Hulkenberg in the Kick Sauber. 6th place was Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari. 7th place was Isaac Hadjar in the Racing Bull. 8th place was Pierre Gasly in the Alpine. 9th place is Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin. And 10th place is Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Right. So, let's talk about Oscar Piastri, shall we?
Let's talk about Oscar.
Did a pretty solid damn race all the way through.
He basically won this race yesterday. The only thing that could have got him was that long drag down into turn 1. You know, we've seen the cars from the second row slingshot the leaders down there plenty, but he had a great start. He had a great launch.
Yeah.
He capped Lando, and then Lando was the one that wound up getting overtaken by Max off the start. So,
yeah.
But from there, he was cruising.
Yeah.
I don't think Lando was any closer than 5 seconds at any stage beyond that.
No.
He absolutely controlled it, start to finish. Safety car and everything, just nailed it.
Yeah.
Perfect drive.
All right, so we're going to get to the key drivers. Key driver, first driver, Lando Norris.
Yeah, did well.
Yeah, he botched the start a little bit. He webbed the start.
I mean, I don't think he botched the start. I mean, Max did get off the line faster than him, and it's a long run down to turn one. So Max did what he had to do, but by the time he got back past him on lap 13, that was it.
Starts really aren't Lando Norris's forte, though, are they?
Well, not usually.
Yeah, but he drove a good, sensible race.
But he was fast from that point. Max didn't even fight him when Lando went through. That's just how much pace Max knew Lando had, so...
Next key driver was Charles Leclerc.
Yes, good drive.
That was a good drive.
That was a great drive. I mean, he took advantage of the Russell and Max thing and got a solid third place.
Yeah, and he certainly seems to have sort of gelled with the car a lot more than Lewis Hamilton, despite the fact that Lewis Hamilton has had a sprint race win. But Charles Leclerc seems to have just gelled with the car a little bit better.
Charles definitely way more consistent than Lewis.
Yeah.
His results are proving it, so... It was a good result for Ferrari,
Yeah.
in spite of everything.
Next key driver was George Russell.
Was he a key driver?
Look,
I mean...
I think...
Yeah, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah, look, putting him on this list, he was a bit of a non-event. He was there.
He became an event when Max made him an event.
Oh, yeah. But for the rest of it, he was just there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it got him points.
Yeah, exactly. He was
points.
probably... He was, maybe looking at a podium too.
Yeah. I don't think the Mercedes has got quite the pace to be where it needed to be on this track.
Not here specifically, no.
No. My next one, now this one I think you will say fully deserves to be on this list, is Nico Hülkenberg.
That dude deserved to be driver of the day.
Yeah, they gave it to
The only
Max.
problem is that vote closes 5 laps from the end.
Oh, yeah. But
And that was right before Max did his thing.
yeah. But I mean, to get that sort of performance out of that Kick Sauber,
That was brilliant.
that
was mega.
I think they brought a new floor for the Kick Sauber this weekend. So clearly the upgrades are working in the right direction so far.
He made up 5 places on the first lap.
Yeah.
And then passed Lewis at the end.
Yeah.
That's how good of a day he had.
Yeah, I mean, he was up there.
He was absolutely should have been key driver of the day.
I put Lewis Hamilton as well, despite the fact that he didn't think he had a great day. I think he had a fairly solid day at the office. And I mean,
He has high expectations for himself, but he was told to let Charles through at one point as well.
Yeah.
So.
Isaac Hadjar
Yeah.
got in the points. He was fighting. He was scrapping. He was doing his job.
Yeah.
And Pierre Gasly, again, in a shitbox Alpine, he was punching well above his weight.
Yeah, he did well. He did very well.
And the final key driver, even though I've got a special mention. So someone who just sort of didn't quite make it. But first of all, the last guy on the key drivers list, Fernando Alonso.
Finally got a point.
Finally got a point. He got
Actually
2
got
points.
2 points because
He got 2
Max
points.
got demoted.
Yeah. And my special mention is going to be Oliver Behrman.
Yeah?
I mean, what dipped him out of the list was, he did sort of get in Max Verstappen's way.
He did get in Max and Lando's way, yes.
But he also got his elbows out with Liam Lawson.
A lot.
A lot. And he didn't back down from him or anything. He drove all right. He didn't get any points, but he drove all right.
Yeah, Lawson and Behrman scrapped all day, and, Lawson was maybe the more idiotic of the two, but
Yeah.
good on Behrman for sticking it to him.
And now we get to the PK kick. Oddly enough, the first of the helmet drivers is Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
Oh,
He does toe the line between aggression and stupidity a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if it's towing the line, but he tends to overstep the line.
Yeah, some of the shit he does is a little bit.
Kiwi?
Well, no, I can't say that. Bruce McLaren was a Kiwi, so I can't say that.
Yeah,
But-
but you know, that was a bit... Some of the moves, particularly some of the crap he was pulling with Oliver Behrman, where he was dive bombing from a bomb threat away.
Well, he was the one that ruined Alex Albon's race too, actually.
Yeah.
He,
Mind you, Albon didn't do himself any favours either. And he's on
well,
this...
no, Albon's both incidents, both new front wings was incidental contact. Both times.
Well, I've got him
Didn't qualify well.
I've got him on the list anyway, because he had a shocker.
Yeah, but it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
The first lap was Hulkenberg accidental contact, and then the second contact was Liam Lawson, maybe not so accidental contact. And that was the end of... actually, he did get a penalty, so...
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
maybe.
he did force I think it was Liam Lawson he forced off the track.
Yeah, okay, so maybe the second one was his fault.
Yeah.
But either way...
No, he got forced off the track and then retook the position.
I think that was against Lawson anyway.
Yeah.
And then Lawson's going to pass him and broke his front wing. And
Yeah.
either way, it was a terrible day for Mr. Albon.
Next key helmet driver was Yuki Tsunoda. He had an absolute shocker.
He qualified last,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure where he finished.
I think it was 16th.
He was in the top 10 for a bit, but
Yeah, for a cup of coffee.
yeah, I actually thought he'd recovered okay, but I might be wrong. Where did he finish? 13th. Yeah,
13th.
okay. Yeah, okay. Maybe not a great day.
You know, and...
Not a great weekend.
No, just not his day, week, or month, or even his year. You know, but still.
Correct.
Next driver on the helmet list is Colapinto. He had a bit of a shocker.
Well, he had a shocking day compared to Nico. I mean, Nico made that Sauber sing.
Colapinto's in the Alpine.
No, wait.
You're talking
Gasly.
You're talking about...
Gasly made the Alpine sing.
Yeah. Yeah, Colapinto just... he
I was
made...
thinking of Bortoletto.
Yeah.
Same but different.
He's not on this list, Bortoletto.
No.
My next one, purely because it's just not a helmet driver list if you don't include him, it's Lance Stroll.
I want to know what happened.
Um,
We'll get to that in the news.
We'll get to that in the news. The final driver on the list is Max Verstappen.
Well, he's helmet driver of the day easily.
Yeah, because he just...
Not only did he just lose the plot, he's cost himself 17 World Championship points in the process.
And he is now 3 points, penalty points away from a race ban.
No, he's 1 penalty point away from a race ban.
Oh, okay. And
I think it's even less.
and he's got 2 races to go before he can wipe it.
Yeah. So if he messes up in Canada, he's going to get suspended for a race.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Well, you know, good things happen to good people.
That's some helmet driving.
But a new contender,
Oh, yeah?
Nico Rosberg's commentary.
No. No. You know what?
Towards the end, he was actually making some real good calls, but I spent.
This was one of his better commentary performances.
But I will say this: I did
I
spend.
missed. It's very fucking noticeable when Martin Brundle's not there,
Yeah.
but I didn't think Nico was bad on commentary.
Oh, look, I will admit, like 2 races ago, when it was Harry Benjamin and someone else. God, I just wanted to plug my ears.
I know. I wanted to find the other channel with like Alex Jakes and
Yeah, like
the other guy, the pit lane channel.
and like on one of the F1 pages on Facebook, they put up a thing going, "What did you think of Harry Benjamin's commentary?" I put a comment up going, "Why didn't you just get fucking Lee Diffie?"
Why didn't you get Alex Blundell?
Yeah,
He does all the F2 commentary.
yeah. But
Lee Diffie's contracted to NBC and NASCAR, so
Oh.
I don't even get to hear him commentate IndyCar anymore, which sucks.
Yeah, because they've got Will Buxton.
They do. He's getting better. He wasn't completely...
Stating the obvious?
Yeah, he wasn't a complete write-off during the Indy 500. He was actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's still a little bit Buxton-y, but... Yeah, he doesn't mansplain everything to the viewers.
Okay. Well, it could have been worse. They could have had Neil Compton.
They could have had Danica Patrick. On the sheer fact that she's driven an IndyCar. Not well.
She's won one race.
Yeah.
In her career.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes her an expert.
Yep.
At promptly fuck all.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to give it to Max.
It's pretty slam dunk that it's Max as the helmet driver for the week.
All right, so Max is the winner. We get to the news items. Lance Stroll withdrew from the Spanish GP due to a wrist injury caused from when he had surgery a couple of years ago on his wrist. That was the story we were told. The actual story, as it leaked on some F1 news sites, Lance Stroll got really pissed off about being eliminated. I think he got eliminated in Q3, I think. Was it Q3 or Q2?
Would have been probably Q2.
Q2. He got really pissed off and he hit something back and re-injured his wrist. That was the surgically repaired wrist from a couple of years ago when he had his bike accident and Drive to Survive tried to make his dad cry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he was in a little bit of pain, so that's why he pulled out of the race.
Sport Brat does what Sport Brat does.
Why don't they make it permanent and just withdraw him from the entire championship?
Put someone better in there. Can't even say that, though, because he's got all of their points.
Except
for two now. Fernando's on the board.
Yay! So
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Sport Brat.
And because he did qualifying, they couldn't substitute another driver in.
Oh, wow.
Because they've got two drivers they could put in, Felipe Drugovich or the dessert Stoffel Van Dorn. God,
You'd go with either of them over Lance.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, you could sack both of them and put both of those guys in the cars and you'd do better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, particularly the dessert. Stoffel.
Yeah, Stoffel can drive.
Yeah.
He was all right at McLaren.
Right, and, well, I was going to say, let's talk about the FIA's calls here on some of the stuff, but really, let's talk about Max. Because, what the hell? Like,
he's throwing the toys out the cot.
You know what? He's acting like a sim racer.
Well,
You know, like an online sim racer who, if something doesn't go right, they throw their toys out the pram and start ram raiding everyone and fucking it all up, and then they rage quit.
this was Max Verstappen rage quitting, like, in real life.
Yeah.
This was a rage quit. This was like, I don't want to hand the position to George. Fuck you, George.
And this is supposed to be a 4-time world champion.
Yeah, defending world champion.
Honestly, I've criticised Lewis Hamilton for some of the things he's done, but this honestly was one of the most pathetic displays from a world champion I've ever seen.
It's just, I thought he could handle himself a little bit better.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, his temperament, I thought he'd be a lot cooler under pressure than he is.
And you know, the funny thing was, they revealed afterwards that, you know how Red Bull asked him to hand the position over to George Russell?
Yeah.
They didn't have to. The FIA revealed that him handing the position back to George Russell was not required because they deemed that George Russell was the one at fault.
Oh, that sucks.
But the team preemptively said, "Oi, hand the position over," which has set Max off, and then he's done.
But you know why they
shit.
did that? Because Alex Albon got a penalty for doing the same thing.
Which brought up something. I watched the video by the race this afternoon, and they were talking about the incident, and they said that that was one of the good things about when Michael Massey was the racing director, the race director, was that they could ask him, like, what do you think? And he could advise and say, look, I think you should hand the positions back.
Why is that still not a thing?
I don't know.
Why can they not be like, oi?
Oh, because the current race director person has said, look, I'll let you guys redress it yourselves.
And so then it becomes a guessing game.
Yeah. And then you end up with stuff like this.
And then the argument is, well, if they don't redress it and it's a penalty, but they do redress it and it's not a penalty.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, which one's more fucking costly?
And that's the
Either way, you lose the sport.
That was the other thing that made the 2021 season great, besides the racing action, was every time there was an interaction with Michael Massey, we got to hear it.
Yeah. And he was calm and concise. He's like, this is what I think.
You know, and that great thing of it's a motor race, Toto. You know, that was great to hear.
Yeah.
You know, and that was one of the things that I really liked about Michael Massey's reign was that you got to hear the interactions with him, and he would say, I think it's this. You should hand the place back over. And if you didn't do it, then you copped a penalty.
Yeah. But now that it's a guessing game,
yeah, you need...
You either guess right and get punished, you guess wrong, you get punished.
Yeah, you need that referee.
Yeah.
You know, it works in every other sport.
Yeah, you can't just... Yeah.
You can't just sit back and go, well, I'll let you guys sort it out, and, you know, whatever happens, happens. Because whatever happens, happened.
Yeah.
You know?
You can't break the rules in any other sport and think you've got a penalty and then...
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I suppose in soccer you can, but...
Soccer you can. Soccer you can all the time. You can fall over and think you've got a penalty.
And WWE.
Well, yeah, that's
you know,
same, but different.
Yeah. But, you know, same level of acting.
Same level of acting skills, correct?
Don't work for me, brother. But, you know, this definitely needs a referee that's there where the team principals can ask him and the referee says yay or nay.
Yeah.
And they fix it.
Well, Nico said that in commentary. You remember when the team was like telling Max to give the place back and then Nico's like, no.
Yeah.
They know it was George's fault. And then Max gets the shits and then it all kicks off.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that concise ruling.
Yeah.
Because no one told Max that he was in the clear. Yeah. Red Bull just had to guess that he wasn't.
Well, they
were wrong.
They preemptively went, well, you know, it's going to be a penalty, so we'll just swap them around.
You've given yourself up before the fucking, yeah.
You know, maybe Max could have gotten a penalty for his collision with Leclerc on the restart, where he was swearing and cursing saying, look, Charles hit me when he hit Charles, actually.
He was the one leaning into Charles.
Yeah. And Charles had the corner already, even though they were still on the straight. But
Charles was past him, yeah.
Yeah. But then the thing with George that sent Max off and then started this whole chain of events, it was deemed to be George's fault.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt for a bit, because not only has he cost himself 17 World Championship points.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to redress, and that's... Do you even blame Max now, or do you blame the FIA?
It's 50-50.
The FIA should have got on the blower to Red Bull when they heard Red Bull telling Max to redress, say, no, we deem it George's fault. Well, but by then it's too late.
Yeah, if they were able to get on the blower with the race director and him say, no, it's clean, George is at fault, keep racing, wouldn't have had this incident, and Red Bull would have had more points in the end.
That's got to be something they redress.
Well, no, they can't redress anything because their race director sits there and says, let it up to everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. That can't be the way it is.
The
FIA need to be the ones delegating the warnings again.
I think that they need to get a new race director and bring back open line of communication with the race director that gets aired on TV.
Yeah, it's got to go back to Massey style because this doesn't work.
And I know who I'd like to be race director.
Sebastian Vettel.
Yes.
Yeah.
He would be perfect.
He'd be great. He'd call it down the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and he can have fucking Kimi Räikkönen as his lieutenant.
Kimi would just be hammered in the back.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be watching the race. He'd be like 20 vodkas deep.
Yeah. While watching the race.
Why, I don't know.
I don't think that was a good one.
I think he drove like an asshole and give him up and not the maybe.
You know what? He'd be sitting there, charged off his line, watching a car drive into the pit lane going, "Hey, steering wheel! Tell him to give me a steering wheel."
I'll to give him his steering wheel the way they
I'll
give
drive,
him mine.
maybe I'll drive the car. I'll miss old Kimi Räikkönen.
He's good, but now he's got his family and his supermodel hot wife.
And his son Robin is in go-karts
His
now.
son Robin won the junior go-karting divisionals in Finland.
Oh,
We might have another Raikkonen on the grid soon.
oh.
Yeah.
I hope he's as dry as his old man.
I hope he just doesn't give a fuck like his old man either.
You know, that's kind of who Oscar Piastri reminds me of.
He is. He's Oscar Piastri, literally.
He's Oscar
But without-
Piastri Räikkönen.
But Kimi had the sarcasm, like Oscar just doesn't.
Yeah, he's got too much Mark Webber.
Yeah, he's very down to earth, but Kimi was like dry, but like super sarcastic at the same time. He's like funny dry, where Oscar's just like serious dry. Yeah, but no, Robin Raikkonen did win the Division 1 in the juniors in the junior karting in Finland, which I was very happy to see. So hopefully it's the step on his journey towards Formula 1 or World Rally Championship,
Yeah.
whatever he wants to do.
All right, speaking of junior divisions, we decided, at the behest of JB himself, to put up the results from the F3 championship standings so far.
Yeah, with their lack of Longhorn, there's also been a lack of F2 reports.
Because have you seen the fucking F2 racing?
It's a bit chaotic.
It's a bit shit.
It is a bit shit. Actually, I think the current championship leader, that McLaren Junior guy, was the one that caused that 17-car pile-up in Monaco.
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder how the F1 Academy's doing.
And
Speaking of pile-ups,
we can't do one. We can't talk about the Formula Academy stuff because Rocket Power Mohawk destroyed it in
RPM's
one single video.
I haven't seen them race since, actually. He single-handedly destroyed the series. RPM, thank you.
The only thing that could make it any better is if they put Gorlock the Destroyer in one of the cars.
Oh my fucking god. She won't fit.
I was actually describing her to one of my co-workers who he left for a few years and then he's just recently come back. I was explaining about the Rocket Power Mohawk video of the things they were going to put on the globe thing at Las Vegas. Yeah, the big screen that's the
Yeah.
so Rocket Power Mohawk was like all the memes and everything, and then he reckons it should have been a photo of Gorlock the Destroyer.
The worst thing about Gorlock the Destroyer is it's actually a dude. And even worse.
And my mate, he's gone, "What the fuck is Gorlock the Destroyer?" And I said, "It's a dude it's a chick who used to be a dude who thinks he can hook up with any chick, any guy going, and he's got the body constitution of a wedding cake."
Fucking makes Jabba the Hutt look skinny. Makes Jabba the Hutt look like a fucking supermodel, to be honest.
It's Jabba the Hutt's cousin, Pizza the Hutt.
Yeah. She'd make fucking Viscera, look like Lex Luger, man. Honestly.
Pizza the Hutt.
Anyway,
So
I just thought I'd add this in because
I'll let you do. I'll
Oh,
let
well.
you do the F3 and the F2 one. So you can do this.
So, we've got the F3, the Formula 3 driver standings after round 5 in Barcelona. So, on top of the Formula 3 at the moment is Rafael Camara from Trident Racing on 105 points. Second is Nicholas Solov from Campos Racing. He's on 79 points. Third is Tim Tremnitz from MP Motorsport. He's on 70 points. Fourth is Noah Stromstead from Trident Racing. He's on 56 points. Fifth is Tuka Tappinen from ART Grand Prix Racing. He's on 51 points. Sixth is Santiago Ramos from Van Amersfoort Racing. He's on 45 points. Seventh is Alessandro Gusty from MP Motorsport. He's on 45 points, equal. Eighth is Theo. He said his name today, but now I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Teofile Nail from Van Amersfoort Racing. He's on 43 points. Ninth is Callum Voisin from Roden Motorsport. He's on 41 points. And 10th is Roman Belinsky from Roden Motorsport. He's on 38 points.
Just looking at these names, like Nikola Solov.
Nikola Solov.
See, when I saw his name, I thought his name was Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, I thought he was the guy that invented that thing, but no, it's not him.
He's the guy who invented the cloning machine for the Great Danton.
Nicholas Solov sounds like a 007 bad guy.
And then you got Noah Stromstead. I thought Jason Newsted.
Jason Newsted.
Old bass player from Metallica. And then you got Tuka Taponen. Well, there's a guy who was on the Dragon's Den named Tuka Suleiman. So that was where I was going with that.
Yeah, I saw Santiago Ramos and instantly thought Sergio Ramos, the defender from Real Madrid, who's a fucking dick. He's very good, but he's very dirty. But like Santiago Ramos, my first thought was Sergio Ramos, but now it's not him.
And Roman Belinsky, Roman Polanski.
Yeah, exactly. But that's your current Formula 3 driver standings, just in case you were interested.
And now we're going to do the F2 driver standings.
That's right. After round 6 in Barcelona, the current Formula 2 driver standings. So, winning the championship so far for Roden Motorsport is Alexander Dunn. I believe he's McLaren's rookie. Also, the triggerer of the 17-car pileup in Monaco. I actually think he's got quite a few penalty points, so we'll see how he goes. He's got 87 points anyway.
He'll be done for if he's not careful.
He'll be done. Second is Richard Verschoor for MP Motorsport. He has got 84 points. Third is Arvid Lindblad from Campos Racing. He's got 79 points. Fourth is Jack Crawford from Dams Lucas Oil Racing. He's got 73 points. Equal with Luke Browning from High Tech TGR. He's got 73 points as well. Sixth is Leonardo Fornaroli, sorry. From Victor Racing, he's got 66 points. Seventh is Josep Maria Marti from Campos Racing. He's got 49 points. Eighth is Victor Martins from ART Grand Prix with 41 points. Ninth is Sebastian Montoya from Prema Racing with 36 points. And 10th is Dino Baganovic from High Tech TGR with 29 points.
Sebastian Montoya, he wouldn't happen to be Juan Pablo Montoya's kid, would he?
He may be related to the great one and only Juan Pablo Montoya. Yes, whether it's his son or his nephew, I'm not sure, but
Okay.
yes, that's exactly. I wouldn't suggest that the apple fell far from the tree there.
And my next question is, what idiot thought it'd be a great idea to stick an American on the track again in Jack Crawford?
Well, he's doing all right. He's equal fourth in the championship.
Yeah, but look at the last couple of Americans we've had on the grid.
I don't think Williams is going to run out for his signature.
I hope not.
They've made that mistake already. Leave that for Haas.
Yeah, well, yeah, they've had one American and two Canadians that sucked. Scott
Speed, Logan Sargent, Lance Stroll. Who's your other Canadian that sucks?
No. Scott Speed didn't drive for Williams.
No, Scott Speed drove an F1 though.
Yeah, he drove for Toro Rosso.
Yes.
Yeah. So they've had Nicholas Latifi, Canadian, Lance Stroll, Canadian.
I forgot about King Latifi.
And that dipshit they fired last year.
Logan Sargent.
Sogan Largent.
King Latifi will not be slandered in this house.
His name will be spoken with reverence.
He's the GOAT. The fact that he doesn't have a statue at Imola alongside Ayrton makes me sick. In fact, I want his statue built on that corner at Abu Dhabi where he crashed. I want a Nicholas Latifi statue right there. I want a statue of Nicholas Latifi riding a goat at that corner.
With a plaque that says, "Here's where Lewis Hamilton's championship died."
R.I.P. Lewis Hamilton, 8-time world champion. Lewis's 8th world championship died here. Lap, whatever it was, 59. 2021. Gold-plated statue to which we worship and bring flowers
Of him
to.
riding a goat.
Yes. Of which we bring flowers and monuments to every year.
So, if anyone out there is listening that's really good with Photoshop or something, if you want to make that and send it to us,
That'd be fantastic.
just put it on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go from there. We'll give you no credit for the photo, though. Sorry.
We'll give you zero credit because we do like stealing thunder here.
Yeah.
Rocket Power Mohawk, if he was listening, would sue the shit out of us. But because he's a window-looking spastic like Lance Stroll and hardly posts videos anymore, I don't know what he's doing.
You know what's happened? As soon as you've said that, I reckon tomorrow he's going to post a video.
I hope so. I'm going to put it out in the ether because it's been like 2 months since he posted a video. We've had like 4 races.
You're making it sound like you go to church. Like it's been 2 months since his last confession.
Well, Formula One's a fast-moving sport, and so should your content.
Speaking of Formula One being a fast-moving sport, it's time for the Formula One drivers' standings. In 10th place is Esteban Ocon with 20 points. 9th place is Isaac Hadjar with 21 points. 8th place is Alexander Albon with 42 points. 7th place is Kimi Antonelli with 48 points. 6th place is Lewis Hamilton with 71 points. 5th place is Charles Leclerc with 94 points. 4th place is Jorge Russell, the terrorist, with 111 points. 3rd place is Max and his dummy-spitting, toy-throwing bullshit.
Mad Max Verstappen.
With 137 points. 2nd place is Lando Norris with 176 points. And in 1st place is Oscar Piastri with 186 points. And we get to the constructors. Wow, things have changed in the constructors.
They have hit the shuffle button, holy.
So in 10th place is Alpine with 11 points.
Woo!
9th place is Aston Martin with 16 points. 8th place is Kick Sauber, also with 16 points. 7th place is Haas with 26 points. 6th place is Racing Bulls with 28 points. 5th place is Williams with 54. 4th place is Red Bull Racing with 144 points. 3rd place is Mercedes with 159 points. 2nd place is Ferrari with 165 points. And obviously 1st place is McLaren with 362 points. How the fuck is Ferrari 2nd?
Well, you can thank Charles Leclerc for that.
And a little bit of Lewis Hamilton.
And Max Verstappen, because Red Bull would have had an extra 17 points there.
Yeah, but, you know, Jesus Christ.
You know, for as whingy as Lewis was today, Ferrari's in 2nd place in the championship.
Yeah. Like, that's nothing to laugh about.
It's not. Like,
Give it time, though.
the
We're gonna
Ferrari
start.
hasn't been great this year, but they're 2nd in the championship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at it. Red Bull is fighting with one arm tied behind its back.
Like usual.
Mercedes has got a driver who is pretty vanilla.
And one that didn't finish the race.
Yeah. So you got Ferrari, who are just the best of the rest, purely on...
Charles Leclerc getting a freak podium.
and Lewis Hamilton.
Because Max and George decided to go ding-dong. And then you've got McLaren, who are like, wondering when we can wrap this up. Can we just go home now? Can you just give us the trophy now? Do you just want us to scribble out 2024 and last year's trophy and put a 5 next to it? We'll keep it.
McLaren's like, just give us the trophy, right? That's got Latifi on the goat. Just give that to us.
Give us the King Latifi Memorial Trophy.
They're like Happy Gilmore sitting there saying, oh, can I have a check now? And they're like, oh, we don't have a check to give. Oh, just give us one of them big ones.
Just give us the GOAT Latifi statue.
So, yeah, that's...
Yes, Alpine's at the bottom because they fucking deserve it. Fuck you, Flavio Briatore. Aston Martin, well, GOAT Stroll wasn't out there to get you more points, so you had to get old over the hill Alonso to get you 2 points. Nico, the absolute masterclass Hulkenberg, gets Kick Sauber off the bottom.
And he beats Lewis Hamilton.
And beat Lewis Hamilton on the line. Haas. Well, that's what you get when you have Esteban Ocon. Racing Bulls, because Isaac Hadjar remembered he can drive.
Yeah, when Liam Lawson's not trying
Liam
to kill
Lawson's
everyone.
trying to kill everyone else while Isaac Hadjar actually drives the car. Williams is still there by proxy of neither of their drivers. Luckily, they had a good start to the year because neither of their drivers got points. And then,
Yeah.
Red Bull's fighting with one hand behind their back. George Russell's a cuck, and Kimi Antonelli didn't finish the race.
Well, you can make that into a rhyme. George Russell is a cuck and Kimi Antonelli's got no luck.
You know what's actually interesting? Mercedes power units have had 2 failures this year.
Yep.
Both of them on the factory cars, not on the McLarens.
And Alonso had one as well.
Yeah.
Well,
There have been no Mercedes power unit failures on the McLaren at all. 2 for the Mercedes and 1 for the Aston Martin.
just don't crow about that too much.
They're going to go start sabotaging McLaren's engines.
Yeah, they're stuck in B-spec engines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll do a swapperoo at the factory. The ones that they're going to send to McLaren, they're going to swap them out.
What like that movie, The Big Steal,
Yeah.
where they swap Jag engines.
Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen.
You've seen that movie, right?
No, I've heard about it.
Oh, you got to watch it. It's a good
There's
movie.
a lot of movies I've got to watch. Don't have time.
Claudia Carvin was hot in that movie.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's got a young Ben Mendelsohn in it too.
There you go.
Yeah, it's worth it. Right, so we get to El Social Medias. So you can watch this on YouTube on the F1 Chat Care of Vindicator 18 channel. We also have a dedicated F1 Chat channel called the F1 Chat -1.
Don't forget the one.
Don't forget the one. Facebook on the F1 Chat. X on the F1 Chat 1.
Don't forget the one there either.
Rumble, the F1 Chat, and Spotify, the F1 Chat. So the next race is in 2 weeks.
Canada.
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 Now, obviously we know the McLarens have got the advantage.
They're going to be very good in a straight line.
Now, the big question is, who's going to be the best of the rest?
If it rains, Max.
If it's not,
Max. I think Max will be alright at that track.
you know what? I'm going to throw something in there. I think Max, yeah. But I think Charles Leclerc is that dark horse.
How good's the Ferrari in a straight line, though?
You know, it was actually, during the race, it was maintaining pace with the McLarens.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of secret sauce there.
We'll see. I think it'll be, if it rains, definitely Max. I think Max will be there regardless.
Unless he hits the wall of champions.
Unless everyone hits the wall of champions. We'll see.
You know?
Lewis. Maybe Lewis.
Maybe.
He needs something. That dude needs something.
Well, at least he didn't fight with his engineer in this race, so...
Yeah. I'm not sure. The Mercedes might be a dark horse. Maybe George and Kimi.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Canadian F1, and then I think the weekend straight after that is Austria. I think.
Yeah.
Which, you know, Canada and Austria are always 2 really fun races.
They're good tracks.
They're good tracks.
Good back-to-back tracks, too.
Actually fired up when I was waiting for my PS5 to be fixed. I fired up F1 2021 on my PS4
Yeah.
and did an entire race as Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari at Austria, and the entire damn race was wet. And I still managed to win by a minute.
Well, when you have it on rookie difficulty.
It wasn't on rookie difficulty.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what we used to race on.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know what we used to race on. I fired up F1 25 and put it on what I used to race on. I was fucking 3 seconds off the pace. You're like, why did I suck at this game?
Yeah, I actually got the Iconic Edition, but it was nice. EA didn't do a physical release this time. It was all online.
Digital.
Yeah, all digital only.
Kind of bullshit.
But no, I bought a 2 terabyte upgrade stick for my PS5, so
Very nice.
got saved onto that.
Yeah, I've got the Iconic Edition as well. I got Forza Horizon 5, so I've been doing a lot of racing lately. It's been good. Now I have to go back and drive slow dump trucks. For real.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of slow dump trucks, that's another episode of us. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us monotonize this crap. On behalf of myself and JB, we will see you in 2 weeks. Until then, it is goodbye.